Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
Hey, Rob, what's going on?
How you doing, Chris?
You know, today is Happy Monday.
Happy Monday after Happy Father's Day.
You know, did you have a good Father's Day?
Had a great Father's Day. I looked at my two sons. One's going to be 15 this year, one's 17, and I said, you know what? I did pretty good.
You got the future in our hands right there.
They're good young gentlemen, which is all I could hope for.
It's good to have, right?
Yeah, it made me proud. I was like, proud papa. How about you?
Hey, there you go.
How was yours?
You know, I have to say I did my usual. I'm kind of getting, it's kind of an addiction for me now.
You got the kite addiction, don't you?
You know, instead of, you know, there are people out there that, you know, hate to say it. I mean, some do drugs, some drink, you know, some ride. I mean, eventually I'll drive a fast car.
Sure.
You know, because I want my grandson to kind of build one with me. But I got this, I'm a cheap date. You see, all I need is somewhere in Southern California. It's got a beach and it's got some sunny weather, and I'll take out my kites and just go into my chi.
You know, I think that's very zen.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a very healthy addiction.
Yeah. Even my wife, she flies this octopus, and she kind of like, you know, drifts off into the sunset as she takes pictures and sends them all over. And, of course, when we're on the beach, you know, everybody and their mother comes up to us.
Oh, yeah.
You know, hey, where can I get one of those? So I think I'm going to start selling those.
You know, my
kites.
kids, Friday was the last day of schoke. I've told them about your kite flying and showed them some pictures. I think we got to set up a date so
Let's
they can come out and
the family kite-a-thon.
Absolutely. QHI flight.
QHI
right
flight.
There you go.
Exactly. So I'm glad you had a good Father's Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today we're going to talk about politics.
Oh my God, you're going to piss me off.
You know, this is kind of an interesting word, right? Politics, I mean, everybody's got an opinion, as we know.
Doesn't the word itself have a negative connotation?
I mean, when you say the word politics,
it's sounding dirty already.
It's like you're policing, I don't know, ticks? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
It's just politics is almost a dirty word anymore.
Politics
in society
has become far more self-serving than serving other people.
And self-serving is the word at choice as we speak.
Yeah, and it's very disappointing. And from our industry, we're watching things happen that we're like, why? This is just
doesn't make any
wrong.
sense. Let's take one topic at a time. The tariff.
Oh my God,
that's got to be one of your favorites.
Well, because look, as you know, we work here at QHI. We do residential, we do commercial. But, you know, some of us are also involved in some utility scale, like power plant projects.
That's right.
And, you know, there is a tariff that's affecting. And the tariff was supposed to be, Trump's tariff was supposed to be about an anti-dumping law. Essentially, it was like the cheap, lower quality, lower price panels couldn't be dumped into our environment and drive down the price of good, solid, quality American product, right? That was the intent.
That's it.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Where was that product coming from?
Yeah, well, yeah, and so the
that's the key.
Yeah, it's a key, but here's the problem. We have companies, and I'm going to mention names. I hope I don't get in trouble, but we have companies like SunPower.
Yep.
Okay. American company? Yeah. But I mean,
well, they have an American location.
Right, but I mean, they're essentially an American company just like Apple is.
San Jose, something like that?
Yeah, they're up in San Jose, Silicon Valley.
So they bought this old building that, I guess Ford used to operate. They bought a Ford building, and then now they're occupying the solar...
well, they took over SolarWorld's
SolarWorld, that's right.
They took over their Oregon property as well.
The second facility.
Yeah.
And I think I heard recently they're going to close that down.
I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. They were supposed to produce the P panel there. We've heard all sorts of rumors. It's really hard to get any clarity, but I think part of the clarity problem on their behalf is there's not a lot of tariff clarity.
I mean, if they close down altogether, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, though. The problem is, let's go. You know, the anti-dumping law was supposed to protect against cheaper panels coming into our industry. And while that might have helped maybe a little when it comes to residential, maybe commercial, on a utility scale, it has the opposite effect. And the reason being is,
It's a lot of money.
well, but how many panel companies in the world can fulfill a 500,000 panel order?
Well, I happen to know one.
No, I know,
and it's
I know,
not
but
in the United States.
no, exactly. And so there's the issue right
Yeah.
there. So if we have an American U.S. power plant that can't be powered by U.S. product because the tariff is saying, you know what, you might be an American-based company, but you do produce some product outside the country. Well, if that's the case, then Apple is in trouble.
Yeah, right.
Google is in trouble. Their phones, everything we talk about. In fact, I just saw
Canadian Solar is made in where? Taiwan.
Taiwan.
But they have a
No, it's not. It's Canadian, right?
Oh goodness.
It's a globalized economy. But the problem is when SunPower could possibly lose an $80 to $100 million order, and the jobs that would create for Americans, okay, because the tariff is hitting them. It's then, I just saw an interview with Tim Cook of Apple where they're talking about a 25% tariff that could hit the iPhone because while part of it, a lot of it's made here, but it's assembled in Asia. That starts to get, it's like no product will be safe from the tariff.
Why don't you just make the iPhone like $3,000?
Well, a minimum of a 25% increase, so on a $1,000 phone is $1,250, and that makes a huge difference.
I mean, it's insane.
And
Why
everybody's
the
going to have
hell-
this problem.
Why the hell would somebody pay over $1,000?
Where's Android made?
for a damn cell phone?
When you start looking at things,
You can get the Google Pixel for practically nothing.
yeah, but where's it made?
It's a better phone too.
No, we'll argue on that. But
Okay.
anyway,
Hey, I'm a Google guy, right?
And
Samsung and Google, baby, back off.
Look, I bleed
Bleed
Mac.
Apple
I bleed
and
Mac,
blah,
and
blah, blah,
for a long time I bled SunPower, and still got to be honest. Outside of their arrogance and incredibly high prices,
I turned my vein off with the SunPower thing. I'm not
Yeah.
bleeding that anymore.
but here's the thing. I'm part of a developer that's developing close to a 600,000 panel project. Outside of the tariff, believe it or not, SunPower is competitive. With the tariff, it's not. And the problem is if we're going to say a company that's here in the U.S. that's just globally producing can't get around that tariff, then the tariff had an opposite effect because those 8,000 jobs that the company has, and it still employs more here in design and stuff like that. We're screwing our own American companies out of. And here's the thing. Let's talk about what a tariff really is. You know what a tariff really is?
It's a sanction. It's a disciplinary action.
It's a tax on Americans because who pays it?
Yeah, no doubt.
So I go ahead and say, China, I'm putting a tariff on you. And they say, okay, then we're putting that extra cost on your American company. And then that American company on Americans puts that additional price. And who pays it? China doesn't pay it. So when your president or
we the people.
when any politician tells you that they're paying it, they are lying through their teeth.
They just pass it on to us.
It's always the American people that pay the price. But what really is upsetting me right now is I could see an $80 to $100 million. I'd rather see an $80 to $100 million order go to SunPower or some American company than outside because this. How many companies worldwide can produce and fulfill that size order? It's really who else American outside of SunPower?
I don't know. I mean,
SolarWorld's gone.
Is SunPower really considered American?
I personally think they're as American as Apple.
There's 3 places on the planet to get raw silicon from.
Right.
And it's not in the United States. So they're all sent here. They purchase the A grade, the B grade, the C grade.
Absolutely.
Cell efficiency.
Right.
Right? And then they assemble the rest of it here in the United States, I guess, up in San Jose.
Well, they actually, a lot of the design and a lot of the componentry is actually done and manufactured here and outside the silicone, and then it's basically assembled elsewhere. But the problem is, you just brought up the key problem.
Their tech support's from Philippines.
What company is American then? See, we're in a globalized economy.
We are.
No, but we're but manufacturing on a big level. We're in a globalized economy.
And especially
Solaria.
the renewable energy business.
Solaria is an American company. or
They're one of the very few companies.
but they still produce some components in South Korea.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There is no way we are going to ever have a product in our pocket or a cell phone or anything that's 100% U.S. made unless we want to spend 2 to 3 times the amount for it.
I mean, let's talk about one more thing. I mean, I thought the tariff actually hit the Disney ticket too, the annual pass holder thing.
It's
$1,000.
The problem is it's hit everything. We're now bailing out farmers.
Oh my goodness!
Because the tariff hit them. So what are we? How many billions of dollars are we giving the farmers because the tariff screwed them?
When is enough going to be enough? That's my question.
And then you
when
look
is
at
enough? Going to be enough.
Well, even take a look at Mexico. I'm sorry, there's 1.5 to 1.7 trillion dollars worth of trade that happens on a daily basis, and we're going to put a 5 to 15% tariff on that. American people are going to pay the price. Do not believe any politician that tells you different.
Every time I see something on the news, in my brain, in the back of my brain, it always says, when is enough going to be enough?
Yeah,
I'm sick and tired.
I agree. We haven't found that point, huh?
High gas taxes. The feds in the state tax gas so high.
Yeah.
That's why we're at $4 a gallon in some cities.
And then we get the summer blend, which is the same.
Which is ridiculous. That's just stupid.
It's just a branding issue.
Why are we sitting back paying these high gas? Why do we even pay taxes at that high rate?
Here's the thing.
Why don't we revolt?
Here's the thing.
I'm okay with that if everybody else is okay. If we all did it at the same time, they'd be in a tough spot.
The American attention span is shrinking by the day.
Yeah, because of these flipping things we got to watch on TV and the news.
You know what?
The misdirection.
Game of Thrones was great. Even if you argued the end, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm on Netflix. I got Hulu.
I've
got HBO.
You just gave 2 months of your life away.
No, I've got distractions.
To watch that.
And the problem is the government loves you being distracted because you're not paying attention to what you should have. Your eye is not on the ball.
Distracted.
Right? Eyes on the prize. And you know what? It isn't. So as long as we're not tuned in, right? As long as we're not tuned in, we're gonna watch these things happen. But right now, a project that my company is going through is having a difficult time getting an American supplier to take $100 million order.
Yeah, you're going to be forced to get it somewhere else.
AOC, I know you're not in my state, but
Come
you know
on,
what?
Man. Bring it to California.
You're extraordinary. You went against the odds and you beat it. And I'm happy to see people like that. Buttigieg, I'm sorry. This is a guy still not owned.
Yeah, they're not owned. You hear that? That's key, right?
You know what they have?
What?
They're idealists still, and people look down on idealism.
Yep.
No, that's how we got everywhere we ever desired to get to. We were idealistic, and it meant something.
Hey, Bob, you can't do the right thing. Imagine that.
JFK said we're going to the moon.
Yeah.
And everyone said, what? And we did.
Yeah.
Currently, we have a president that said the moon is part of Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is. Bill Nye's dropping F-bombs because the insanity.
The global warming.
So here's the thing. Did you hear about, was it Antarctica or Greenland? Did you hear what we just dropped in ice in the last week?
Exactly.
2 gigatons. That's 2 billion pounds.
Well, you know what's going to happen next, right?
In a week.
You ever heard of the mean sea level?
Yeah, absolutely.
The MSL is the rising of water.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I'm wrong, they are pumping out over 1 billion gallons of water a day in New York subways.
Well, here's the thing. When Manhattan's underwater, they'll start to think it's a problem. Or when 20% of the coast around Florida is underwater, they'll go, yeah, wow, this is really happening.
The wave's going to have to come through Wall Street.
We don't have to get to that point if we pay attention in
advance.
No,
we actually have to because we're stupid. We don't care. Nobody gives a flip. And when Florida is finally infested with alligators and the little arm down there has disappeared, when Maine, when New York, when all the eastern coast states have now been swallowed up by the ocean.
Do you know what you're highlighting?
That's global warming at its best, dude.
But here's what you're also
That's part of it.
Here's what you're highlighting. America, and I'm an American, right? I'm proud. I love the country, right? And I've traveled the world. I've been to dozens of countries. America has gotten lazy. We have become reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah,
When you,
I'll
when you
take
have a
that.
737 jet that they knew there were problems with, but we got to have 3 of them go down and kill 500 people to say, yeah, there's a problem with it. Maybe we should
we'll
ground
look
it.
into that.
Maybe we should ground it. We
Stupid.
only respond once enough people die from it. And you know what we need to do is, here's the problem with global warming, climate change. By the way, both of them are the same thing. The challenge is when you get to that tipping point, you're not going to turn it around. Or if you can turn it around, it's going to cost 10 times what you thought it was going to cost.
What we're going to do is we're going to go underground to survive the wrath.
Look, it's really simple. I saw a thing on Twitter the other day.
I don't want to turn into a mole.
No, but I saw a thing on Twitter the other day where a woman said climate change was Satan.
Oh, wow.
No, climate change is 7.5 billion people polluting the planet.
It's our fault.
Okay, so when we can stand up and take responsibility, plus know we have the technology, the brains, and the wherewithal to correct it, and solar, which is something we work in every day, we have the ability to make the changes.
Well, let me tell you where that's coming from. That's stemming from these stupid politicians and these, I need more than you do. My agenda is more important than your agenda. Yeah. They're fighting in the Senate. They're fighting in Congress.
They just gridlock it all, basically.
You get CNN, you get Fox News ripping each other apart. They pay these, these lobbyists who are not even in that industry just to talk on television. Hey, if they want to do that, they can give me $5,000. I'll go up there and talk about rubber baby buggy bumpers or whatever else they want to talk about. I can tell you one thing. Whoever wrote the tariff that affected solar does not know the industry. I mean, that guy was totally stupid.
Because these individuals lack a very important word. It's called nuance.
Yeah.
They do not know enough about the marketplace to say, well, if I do that, that's going to happen. It's just... And I got to tell you something about tariffs. I have a really hard on about tariffs. Because to me, if you're a person who's capable of negotiating deals, if you have the capacity to create win-win situations, you never need a tariff in your life. A tariff is like war. It's the last-ditch effort. Everything else failed. Your negotiation failed. Your diplomacy failed. So what do you have at the end? I want to throw a tariff on you. And then what do?
Yeah.
I'll throw a tariff on you back.
They return the favor.
Does it ever win anything?
Listen, why don't we
have Americans losing because of this.
Why don't we make them in America?
Cost.
What do you mean?
It's cost, guy.
I had a friend at BP Solar a long time ago when BP Solar was really, really in the business.
Right.
He looked at me in my face. We had a private meeting. He says, Chris, do you really want to know what the price per watt to make a solar panel really is? And he told me this about, 15 years ago. He said 25 cents.
Yeah, but
25 cents a watt.
Yeah.
15 years ago.
But as you know, most of the silicon that we're using is not even in the United States.
Right. So and it wasn't back then either. They didn't have silicon in the United States.
No, exactly.
They had to buy it from somewhere. So why don't we, trust me when I say this, we're still buying it at the same price. The problem is it goes from one hand to the next hand to the next hand, and then distribution gets a hold of it. They can't wait to make their 10, 15 cents a kilowatt
sounds like you're,
on the deal.
Sounds like you're identifying a Southern California Edison bill.
The
right column. All the people that have their hands
exactly.
in it. Right? All the people that have their hands in it.
Right? But, everybody's got their fingers and hands in this solar process.
I totally agree. But why I'm so upset today and why I want politicians to pay attention, and quite honestly, I want to put this podcast out to some of them, and if I don't get a direct message or email back from them, then they seriously don't care, because the bottom line is I should not be in the development of an American power plant and have to be forced to use foreign product.
The problem is they're going to get a copy of this. They're going to ignore you. They don't care. You're going to go to the third level high school permitted crony.
I'm going to keep hammering it.
You're going to keep driving it home?
I'm going to keep driving it home because, look, America needs to be leading There's not going to be a more important revolution. Here's the thing. Look, our education system is still based on an industrial age education system. We're in the information age, and we haven't even gotten there yet. Okay, the biggest thing that we're ever going to be doing in the next decades is going to be the energy evolution. Okay, it's batteries, it's solar, it's electric cars, it's all these things. Because without it, our planet dies, and we go with it. Okay, so right now, I saw that Biden actually put out something where he has a plan for the green, energy and so forth. And people are complaining that his plan could cost $5 trillion over the next decade or so. And you know what I'm saying? Okay, or cost us our planet. Plus, how many millions of jobs are going to be created out of that? See, the LP's gone, people, except for people still into it, right? The 8-track's gone. The cassette's gone.
Yep.
CDs. Wow. Do you remember when CDs came? You were like, oh, this is great. This will never end. And now it's all digital download.
You don't have to buy it anymore.
It's all gone, people.
It's gone.
So the way, and you know what? Everything's been disruptive. Musk disrupted the electric car industry. And when he came out, he said, I'm pure electric. I'm not a hybrid. He had the balls to say, you know what? It's all electric. Right?
Yeah.
We got my bed I just bought's disruptive. It came in a box, and basically when I took it out of its plastic, it puffed up, and it's more comfortable than anything I've ever found in a showroom.
And
okay?
They disrupted the market.
Again, so energy, solar is the disruptive. Batteries is the new
here's
disruptive.
The sad part about,
but we need to own that and lead it. We got to be we shouldn't even just be in the Paris Accord. We should be leading it. What happened when we pulled out of it? China and Russia said, we got this.
They couldn't wait to jump into that chair.
There's a saying in quantum physics that says the universe abhors a void. What that basically means is wherever there's a void, it's going to be filled with something, either good or bad. And basically, we allow China and other countries to take our place.
Well, here's the problem with this global warming thing. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, everybody can relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
In the next 25 years, it's not going to matter anymore, Rob. It doesn't matter how rich you are.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not doing something about it immediately.
It's going to get kind of equalized, isn't it?
I heard through the grapevine that California was at 19% of the renewable energy standard, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great start, right?
Right.
But we need to be at like 80% today.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the United States needs to kick in.
Because where's some of our European counterparts?
They're way past
they're
all that.
Beyond the 50%.
They're
range.
done.
Yeah.
They can't do anymore.
Yeah. So
they're even putting wind turbines in the ocean to catch wind.
There's some really great projects even happening in the U.S. about that. But I mean, we need to be using our own product and our own technology as well.
If we're okay with these catastrophic, monsoons, if we're okay with these earthquakes that are going to start soon, if we're okay...
Fontana?
Oh, my God. I've been getting shook out of my bed.
Over 700 in the last, couple months?
I mean, they're centered in Glen Avon, and I'm sitting there bouncing on my bed at 2 a.m. I've been out there 34 years. I have never felt that many earthquakes
that's pretty staggering.
In that short of time.
The thing, too, we have to remember is everything's very interconnected. We all think we're not. Okay, but it's whatever happens to this side of the world is affecting the other side.
So to finish my thought, if everybody is okay with that stuff, then continue to be lazy, don't do anything, and screw you for not trying to do something.
Right.
Because when this catastrophe stuff starts hitting, I'm going to go out and bring out my .50 caliber, and I'm whacking all you idiots.
Protect your land.
I'm going to snuff all you guys out.
What did Bill Burr say?
I don't care who you are.
Bill Burr, the comic, said, what am I supposed to do? Like put a windmill up or solar and grow vegetables? I'm only growing vegetables for the strongest guy on the block because he's going to come and grab them. But here's the thing.
And that's going to be me. I'm going to have a gun on my back and 2 in my hands.
But here's the thing.
I'm taking your ass out.
Here's where I'm really puzzled, Chris. Can you help me out?
Okay.
I'm serious. Okay. So I, as a consumer, I'm in Edison territory, but this applies to a lot of different utilities. Okay, so I'm not picking on them directly, although I am. I can do my part if I pay attention. I can put solar on my roof. And it's even cheaper and more predictable than staying with the utility. So now I'm starting to ask some questions about the American public, because I think this administration, a lot of politicians are an IQ test for America. And quite honestly, about 33% of us are failing it miserably. So here's my thing. I can do the right thing, correct me if I'm wrong, and I can save money. It will cost me and my family less. I have a predictable locked-in bill. I now know what my cost of my household is. And I've helped the planet at the same time. Can you tell me where I'm losing?
You're not losing at all. And why
then
the hell
why
wouldn't
the
you
hell
do
am
it?
I not doing it?
Thank you. You know what it is? It's fear.
It's a paradigm shift. You're absolutely right.
It's total fear.
I've been buying energy from SCE for 30 years. I bought 2 solar systems already from what I've paid them. And I don't want to change because I've been doing it forever.
Hey, listen, people change their entertainment all the time. You got DirecTV.
Oh, absolutely.
You got Spectrum. You got AT&T. And you know what?
Right.
To save $5 a month, people switch like it's nothing.
Oh,
but when
every
it comes
day.
down to doing something smarter for their home, or actually putting something in place that makes sense,
Right.
they're scared. They're confused.
They are, it seems, right?
I just don't get it.
I'm going to tell you, so I do appreciate someone like Musk coming along and saying, I'm not going halfway. I'm going with the full electric.
Yeah, I love
There's
it.
another company you need to take a look at, and it could be a very big thorn in the side of Tesla, but I don't think they'll mind because he's always been open to competition. Check it out. It's called Rivian.
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 Isn't that a European?
Nope. So we've got an American company making 2 vehicles.
Really?
One of the vehicles they're pure electric. Okay. One of them's a SUV and one's a pickup truck. It'll be the first pickup truck. They are made for enthusiasts and outdoors people. And the reason I say that is if you get their top battery packs, okay,
Yeah.
what they have is about a 200 horsepower electric motor at every wheel.
Oh, wow.
Okay. They both go about 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat.
That's insane.
They both have between about 400 and 410 miles of range.
410 miles?
On an SUV
Wow.
that can fit 7.
That's the car to buy right there.
So their pickup truck can fit 5 people. They have a tailgate still. Guess what the tailgate does too? It doesn't go down flat. It goes fully 90 degrees down.
No way.
So that you can walk right up to it.
I love it.
And by the way, if you don't want the storage under, there's a full tire that still gives you like 250 cubic feet of space below it. And they have a gear tunnel that goes through the truck, so you can put snowboards, you can put anything you want through it.
What?
Super ridiculous. Check it out.
Okay, let's talk about what
These
do you
are
think
the
the price is going to be.
Well, yeah, the pickup truck's going to be, with the top batteries, probably going to be around 60, 70 grand. Okay. But, I see people going out getting Ford F-150s for 40 plus thousand,
No,
50
you're right.
grand with big wheels and
Yep.
stuff. But this
I get
thing,
15 miles to the gallon, right?
400-mile range.
That's insane, man.
So what I'm just saying is we have the technology here that suggests we should be leading, and we've decided not to. And the American public needs to start buying into the technologies that ultimately save you money and save our planet.
Just think of this. The reality is we've had this a long time ago. These oil companies,
time ago.
Shelved and put all these ideas in a little lockbox and
Yeah.
said, screw everybody.
The first
They had the
generation-
hydrogen car.
The first generation of the electric car was basically bought and shelved and destroyed and crushed. Right?
They had that stuff a long time ago. The only reason they're kind of bringing it out now is because they're talking about it more.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to step up to the plate and say something about it, which they have been.
But here's the part that
They
really
responded.
Here's the part that makes my brain hurt. Okay? This is the bottom line that really makes my brain hurt. Like I can't wrap my head around it. If we do the right thing, we're going to help the planet recover. Businesses are going to create more jobs and revenue in the green industry than any other in the world.
Imagine that.
And its customers are going to save money. Save the planet, save customers money, and generate more business and revenue and jobs than any other industry. I'm at a loss to find the down.
So all they got to do is push that green button and go.
Like right now, we've talked about this how many times? 2019, you got the greatest incentives. You've got the highest prices in utility that continue to go up at 6-7% a year. Why haven't you moved?
Yeah, that's just mind-boggling. A friend of mine across the street from my house just recently did life paint in some windows, and I kind of talked to him about, reduce before you produce, right?
That's really good.
So his name is Haru. He's a good friend of the family's. He finally did what he was supposed to do for his home, and guess what? He comes back with this big shit-eating grin on his face all the time because not only is his house more comfortable, he's saving on his utility bills.
Right.
So, which means he can have a smaller solar system put in his backyard to finish the job.
Which is what a lot of people don't believe us when we say this. Our goal is to put the smallest system on your roof that gets rid of your utility.
Reduce before you produce.
Absolutely. But a lot of people don't look at that because you probably have a salesperson on that likes the bigger system size because they're getting commissioned on it. For us, we want to do the responsible thing. But here's the responsible thing. You upset me again, Chris.
Sorry.
Okay, you ready? No, I love you, man.
No, it's all good.
Okay, I come from architecture, and I'm so sick and tired of these beige giant boxes being put on our planet.
Oh, those are ugly.
Okay, and then you get 3 people living in 3,000, 4,000 square feet, not realizing the energy, oh my God, like money pit they just bought.
If they built houses out of concrete, it's been a proven fact,
Yeah.
or bale hay or whatever as an insulator, you wouldn't have to cool down the house, specifically with concrete. Because concrete gets convection cooling from the foundation and the walls.
Right.
Your house actually has blocks on one side of the wall. Tell me, is your house more comfortable on that side?
So we have it's kind of a mid-century modern, and it has block, filled with concrete on about half the size of the house. And even recently, we just had those 106-degree temperatures, right? And would I want to run the AAC? Yeah, a little bit, because I'm a guy that always runs hot,
Sure.
But I walked in, and it was still comfortable. And it's because of the design. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. These people are just putting up, 2x4 drywall, just crap. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in architecture and construction for 30 years. We need to reimagine the way we build efficient homes. They will take less energy. They will take less solar. They'll be more efficient on every level. There's a lot of prefab companies now that are building these. And a prefab home, believe it or not, because it's built in a warehouse, which is almost a lab. They're much more precise, right? But in their precision, they're building all these conservative energy type things right into how they're built. If we keep putting these ugly, my house is the 23rd slightly different beige house on the right, homes, if we keep building those that are just not efficient, I got to tell you, I almost think Edison and all these utilities are hooking up with KB and all these homes just to go ahead and say, yeah, keep building those big dumb homes.
Firstly, thank God we have a provider like that could give us electricity.
Absolutely.
But I'm all for using less of it.
Be smart.
Right? If you use less of it, that means they have to produce less of it.
Absolutely.
And this demand thing, man, this is stupid for commercial customers. That's such a discipline that these guys would impose on them. But, they give them this story again. Hey, Bob, just in case you want to run that toaster and that blow dryer, it's going to require 5 kilowatts of energy or 25 kilowatts of energy. We're going to hold that right over across the street, just in case you demand.
Just in case you need it.
But we're still going to charge you for it even though you don't use it.
Right.
Talking about corrupting, man. What we need to do is get this we the people back into place. Yeah. This government making all these decisions is really not the way to go. I mean, it's just like the electoral college vote that you hear every 4 years when somebody goes to run for president. Right. They should throw that on its face. Well, they should have one vote for one person.
Here's the thing: the electoral college was developed for a good reason. That has turned out to be bad.
It's now bad.
Because the problem is somebody along the way, there's a lot of greedy individuals out there, and along the way somebody learned how to pervert it. It's called gerrymandering.
Yes.
So if I could go ahead and I can take a border and make it look not like anything relatively close to a straight line, but it's all this squiggly little line because I want to include just the right demographic and psychographic within it to control the vote. Now the electoral college is useless.
You mean call it a district maybe?
Yeah, but the districts are like, every time an election comes up, they start like working hard to gerrymander the borders for the next 4-year election.
Yeah, rezoning.
Yeah, exactly. So you
They're-
know what,
It's called tooling up for the next success.
Chris, you're one person and you get one vote.
Yeah,
So
that's
am I.
cool.
So are our wives. So are our kids.
As long as
Okay?
you have a driver's license
or some
or
form of ID,
or an identification
Of
from
some
the
sort.
state that you live in,
you vote.
you have the opportunity to vote. If you
Absolutely.
don't, work on it. Go get it done.
Right, and one vote counts.
Yeah.
So it's the majority rules, which I would have thought that's
No
what it should have
internet
already been.
voting. No, what do you call that? To where you can vote later or pre-vote. Forget that.
Well, they do pre-voting. Like, I do know the pre-voting. Like, my dad is going
it
to be
all
95.
it all has to be done on either a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, or a Sunday.
But if you're going to do that, how about we make voting day, especially for president, a holiday?
kind
Everyone's
of like we
off.
do for the 4th of July.
You know what? If elections are as important as a 4th of July, give the day off and let people have the full day to go vote.
That's kind of a proud moment, isn't it?
It is
You're-
for me.
you're-
I like putting my sticker
I
on.
know. I voted.
I voted. I voted. I make sure my kids see that. They're 14 and 17. I've told them how important it is to have your voice matter. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what we really need to do as people is get back to basics.
And get involved.
Get involved. Talk to your congressmen. Write the letters.
It's pretty easy to get their phone numbers.
Yeah, it is.
You can call their office and bombard them with, "This is what I want."
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. One of the touching things about, you saw it too, it was about a lot of females that were working to get elected. But AOC, Alexander, she got really highlighted in the Knock Down the House that was on Netflix.
I'm glad, man.
And I think the thing, and I think regardless of what party you're from, if you could be open-minded enough, I think you needed to really see the power there. When she won and she was outside there at the Capitol buildings, and she talked about the story of her father taking her there, and the words he said to her was, "This house is ours.
That's right.
This belongs to the people." But you know what? We forget that. Everyone who's in Washington is there on our behalf, not the president's. They don't serve at the pleasure of the president. Even the president, is there by our pleasure, by who we put there.
We put them there.
And we need to, good or bad, we need to do what we need to do to stay involved in our government. And right now for us, we happen to work in the green industry. I don't think there's a more important one right now on the planet.
Well, if you don't do something about it, you're talking about a global extinction here. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
I haven't taken a rocket trip lately to the moon and hung out for a week.
We lost 2 gigatons of ice in a week. So this is what I wrote on Twitter. You know what? To be quite honest, if I lost any amount of ice in my refrigerator's ice maker,
right,
I would have already been calling in for it to be serviced.
That's right.
We lose 2 gigatons of
nobody knows about
Antarctica or Greenland type ice, and we're not thinking this is an emergency.
They don't. Who knows about it? Does it really matter? You know why people don't really talk about it? Because they're scared that no one's going to do anything about it.
But here's the thing. The citizens of the world in America outnumber the politicians running it. And if we make enough noise, we'll be heard.
The issue with that is that we're going to have to take a stand, get those old muskets out and really start, making a difference here.
I do.
You got so many rules, regulations. You can't zig, don't zag. If you do this, you do that.
Right.
And then and if you're a tyrant, you can end up in federal prison. They'll just silence you.
And I do think, and I'm going to reach out. Look, I'm coming up on the double nickel, 55 here.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know
I
if
got
it's nice.
3 on you. So.
But and I always tell my kids, it's like I want young voices to get involved, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, this planet's yours a lot longer than mine, right?
That's right.
I need you to get involved, because I need the young people, the millennials, the people that you're not tarnished yet. You're not bought or owned by society. You got to understand that the policies being put up right now by a generation that will not be lasting the next 10 years, most likely, or 20, right? I mean, we have a very geriatric type crowd, and I'm not against the old, but we need to get some younger people in there. Hell, my almost 95-year-old father has more progressive views to support the young than most of the people that are sitting there in Congress and the Senate.
That would be a great thing to do, but when you watch that Bill Nye the Science Guy show that recently came on, have you seen his show, the recent one?
I've been watching
where
this.
he was challenging another scientist who's telling people the Earth has only been here for 6,000 years.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs don't exist.
Yeah.
And global warming is a farce.
Right.
That's what he's teaching them.
And
he has this huge thing. It looks like Noah's Ark. I think he's built it out in the middle of BFE. People are actually paying to go in there to see this big replica. I think it costs like $15 million. Well, and in this whole thing, he's poisoning their minds as they go through this.
It brings up a problem where
he's the opposite of science.
Yes, because the problem is I find there's a lot of people today that are much more willing to believe a story than truth. All right. So
he's doing a great job at it, trust me.
And there's a fundamentalistic, almost literalism on the way we believe certain things in certain writings, when what we really also have to know, like, science is not against religion and religion isn't against science. Not
that's
to
right.
go there,
right.
But that's the truth, okay? And I think we get really, look, when I have people talk to me about that, I say, let's throw all the politics out.
Yep.
Throw all religion out. Throw everything out for just 1 second. Just go to NASA's website, okay? They've been monitoring the temperatures of the planet for decades.
Very long time.
Longer than I am.
Yep.
Okay? And when they can show out the last decade that 8 or 9 years out of every 10 we've had a hotter year. But then you get someone like a president or someone in politics saying, well, we had a cold winter, so global warming doesn't exist. No, they're morons. Excuse me.
You got some of these meteorologists.
There's extremists
sitting there. Yeah.
That have the extremists of weather.
Exactly.
Do you realize 20 years ago we used to have 2 tropical storms a year?
Easy.
Now we get 17 to 18.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah. It's climate change.
It's just evidence, people. Please be wise enough to stop believing the bullshit of people. Science has a place. And you know what? If you don't want to believe anyone, just look at NASA. All they did was very unbiasedly, they recorded temperatures around the world. And a year ago, okay, we had temperatures reaching above 140 in Saudi Arabian deserts. We had a video of a bumper, I think it was in Florence, Italy, or someplace in Italy, where the bumper was melting? Because of the heat. What other evidence do you need? Do you need some politician to tell you it's not happening as it's happening?
Wouldn't you hate to get this global television announcement saying, hi, everybody, this is so-and-so,
right.
And we want to tell you we're so sorry because it looks like global warming is real after all.
Right.
And, so to stay out of 125, 130 degree heat, we suggest you wear a saturated towel before you go out so you can survive as you drive your car that might make it to the grocery store if everything doesn't fail in the meantime.
The latest underwear from Calvin Klein, 10 years out, has asbestos in it. Fire retardancy built into it.
Right to your testicles, pal.
Because you're going to be on fire. No, I mean, it's
ridiculous. Come on.
Look,
we're talking about it now, and in 10 years,
yeah,
I'm telling you, in 10 years, it's going to be a problem.
And the problem is there are tipping points in which it's just like having a disease. We've talked about this. If you're diagnosed with cancer, you don't say, I'm going to think about it for 5 years.
Or just go to WebMD and kind of figure it out, or Google it.
Right, but I mean, at some point, it's a thing to say you need to do right now. I have relatives right now with cancer, and we're on it. Right, someone tells you got a global warming issue, and then someone says, "Well, we had a relatively cool winter. I don't think it exists." I'm sorry, they're idiots, and we gotta stop believing idiots that have agendas because their stock portfolio includes coal and oil.
And you know what? It just might be that New York has to go underwater, Florida has to disappear, Maine's got to go bye-bye for somebody to kind of say,
And again, we not only can avoid that,
Oops.
we could save on our electricity bills, and we can develop more jobs and more green industry in this country and help our deficit and build more wealth in this nation again, just by doing the right thing. Wow.
imagine that.
It's ridiculous. That's what really gets me. It's
Yeah.
not really at an additional cost to us. It's at a savings.
You know, when I was selling solar a long time ago, I mean, $12 a watt was not uncommon.
No.
I mean, that's when the solar business kind of started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're able to buy it at $4 a watt, but look at the difference.
Yeah.
It has come down so much that you got to be semi-insane not to do it.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
I could even do a power purchase agreement on your home to where your electricity is going to be better than your current bill with Southern California Edison.
Right.
I still get people going, well, why should I do that? I just want to take out my gloves, put them on, and just manhandle somebody. I'm just like, are you kidding me? You don't? No, we don't care about that. We care about, the news, Netflix,
Well,
the juice that these guys drink every day.
can I give you a quote?
Yeah, please.
So Bertrand Russell said, and I love this. He said the whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, while wiser people are so full of doubts. And so what we have on the news, and we have people just expounding all this stuff, these fanatics and these foolish people who think they have the answer, and they're very certain. It's almost like the dumber somebody is, the more certain they are they're right. But the people that are really right are very contemplative. They're very thoughtful. They're very mindful. So they doubt, and it's in that doubt that they have their true intelligence. We got to stop placing our future in the hands of fools.
Yeah.
They may seem right, and then you're like, well, he sounds right. He thinks he's right.
Yeah.
I guess he's right.
He's
or
on
she's
TV.
right.
He's got to be
on
right.
TV. He's got to be authority, right? She's got to be an authority. No, 80+% of all news is placed, which means it's hired. It is, right? I mean, so what you got to realize is sometimes the problem is the people that know the most aren't always making the most noise about it because they're very thoughtful about it. They're very systematic about it. But those are the people we need to listen to. And I like to think that us here at QHI and the way we educate our clients is really important because we know this stuff. We've been doing this for decades, and it bothers us when we see people out there trying to say something's true that isn't even remotely close.
At the end of the day, it's all about NASA and science. Good science, good, simple
I don't know about you, but
science.
I tend to look, if I'm going to make informed decisions, what do I have to be? Informed.
Yep.
Am I going to take Joe Blow on the corner who's got an opinion, or am I going to take scientific fact?
Science is where it's at. Sorry to say.
It's just
There is that hidden line that all scientists put in the center, and they go, "This is the pro, and this is the con.
Exactly.
This is it, and we've got tests showing this."
But the problem
What do you believe?
The problem is we have a political society, even in America right now, that is trying to tell people not to believe the 97% of scientists that agree worldwide.
97%.
97%. They want to go with the 3% outliers that are basically
The lobbyists.
just liars.
The lobbyists.
Right? Outliers that are liars that are basically sitting out there saying, that doesn't work for my stock portfolio.
Yeah, or my bottom line.
My bottom line requires coal and oil. We can't
I'm not gonna do
regress.
that,
We cannot regress. We're not going to go forward by moving backwards. So
Well,
look, our green industry is vital. We should be leading the world in this, people, because if we don't, another country is going to lead it, and we're going to be buying from them at a bigger cost.
Well, I just hope that something good happens, because at the end of the day, if nothing happens, it doesn't matter where you live on this big blue marble, folks.
That's right.
You are going to be a part of the wrath, and I just hope that
Right? One way or another, sooner or later,
Mother
right?
Nature is going to take care of it, either in a good way or in a bad way.
Look, it goes back to that thing where that, God, I forget the individual made the study that said, if all insects died within 50 years, the planet's toast. If all humanity died, in 50 years, it flourishes.
It flourishes,
Look,
right.
We're the cancer in some respect on top of this body called Earth. But we can heal the planet and ourselves and do the right thing. And I think it's just really important. I don't want today to come off like it was some bitch fest, because it really wasn't.
It's not. It's just common sense.
We totally care about what's happening, and we're so proud to be part of an industry that can help our environment, that can help homeowners and business owners, and help our economy all at the same time.
We just want somebody to listen to it
Yeah.
and then be proactive.
Be proactive.
Don't believe us. I mean, do your research. Seriously. And after you look at permafrost, global warming, mean sea level, and all these other things we talked about.
And how many hurricanes are we seeing that are devastating now, like 17, 18 a year?
Yeah.
We never had that.
Especially
Never.
with all these incentives and opportunities, somebody that doesn't get it put on the roof. How about this? How about reduce before you produce? How about
I
doing
love-
that,
I love
starting
that.
there, and so the utility companies don't have to make a bunch of energy for these other guys that are hogs.
You know, it's crazy. I think, out of all the people I know and places I've worked, I've never heard the reduce before you produce. It's here that we...
Doesn't it make sense?
Well, yeah, because I've always wanted to get you as efficient as I can before I put some... I don't want to put something on your roof that's just basically having to overproduce because you're not
You're
efficient.
lazy. And let's just face it. Don't be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do these little tweaks at home. Doesn't take
They add up
much.
huge, right?
I mean, how about going to Home Depot and getting some of this caulking and just sealing up your windows? Just start there.
There's such small
Takes
things
like
you can do.
$10.
LED lights.
LED lights. All
Simple.
these, man.
Oh, they cost too much though, Chris. Yeah, but they last 10 times longer.
Rip out your carpet and put in like laminate flooring. Let the foundation come up with its cooling factors to cool off the house so you're not dying in the summer.
I got to tell you, too, we have the hardwood floors with all the stone and everything. Our place it's
Isn't
a
it
pretty
nice?
cool envelope.
Pretty neat, right?
It's a pretty cool envelope. Yeah.
And you know what? When it's cool that way, it's also cool on your wallet.
I know people that were running the air how much when it was 106. I think I put it on an hour in the afternoon or so, and then we have these little ceiling fans, and we were able to open up, and it was beautiful.
Circulation is everything.
And it's perfectly fine. So just try to be as efficient as you can before you do, and understand something. Right now with your utility, you are a consumer. We're asking you to be your own utility and be a producer.
Do the right thing, reduce before you produce, and stop letting these guys make you drink the Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Stand up and do something about it.
And politicians, call the tariffs what they are. And if somebody doesn't give me a call on this, I'm very ashamed of us, because I've got I've got the evidence in the story that should be on CNN tomorrow of how these are hurting our own American businesses.
Amen to that, brother.
Wow, that was cool.
I like it.
We got to
Woohoo.
vent today.
We got to vent. Thanks to everybody for listening. And
Yeah.
we're just kind of bringing it to the edge here.
And you know what?
In hopes that somebody will do something about it.
Please get questions to us if you want. Or
We're just two
topics.
people.
Yeah, we're open to your topics. If you got something out
Go to
there
the
we're
website.
not
There's
covering,
a button.
Yeah,
Click on that button.
go on there. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We've got a lot of information.
Are you brave enough? Get on the air with us.
Exactly.
Come on down.
Absolutely. Come
Right?
on down. We'll do an interview with you. We'll put you on the mic.
That's right.
We really want
Say something about
We
it.
want to talk about the things that are affecting you the most.
Yep. Hey, Rob, thanks again, man. I appreciate you.
Happy
Love you like a
Monday,
brother.
huh?
Hey, man, Monday's here, and hopefully we'll be celebrating another 1,000 Mondays in the future.
There you go, man. Hey,
All right,
everyone,
man.
take care out there.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
All right,
Bye
cheers.
now.
The Energy Hour was brought to you by
For beauty, efficiency, and power, the only product we know in the solar industry is Solaria. Maximum power. For nearly 25 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Maximum power. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Maximum power. What really defines home solar? How about Solaria? Quality you can trust for your home or business. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Where do you get this panel for your home or business? Go to QHIinc.com. That's QHIINC.com/Solaria. SOLARIA.
Got your latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to qhiinc.com/TEO. That's qhiinc.com/TEO.